Dave said, we signed a big class. We signed 28 kids. Very excited about it. Today we got better. The Buffaloes definitely got better. There's a lot of excitement around our program. I was just down in the weight room with some of our players, some guys up in my office earlier today, and they're excited about their future teammates. So I'm going to talk about each kid about 15, 30 seconds. And then open it up for questions. I imagine there'll be a lot of questions today. So I want to give everyone an opportunity to get their questions asked. So we're going in reverse alphabetical order. So the first player is Yuri Wright. We got Yuri out of Don Bosco, teammate of Tony Jones. We're very excited about him. Defensive back and D-line were two areas of emphasis for us this year. As you guys, if you watched us play last year, you know we had some issues at those positions from a depth standpoint, and we feel like we addressed those appropriately in this class. So we have Yuri coming in. The next kid is Dejon Wilson, and Dejon is from Washington, D.C., one of the D.C. 3. So for those of you that have been around here for a long time, we had the H-Boys, which was Alfred Canavis and Art Walker, and now we have the D.C. 3. And Dejon is one of those guys, the defensive end. We're excited about him. He has a knack for getting turnovers and doing something with it when he gets them. Good pass rusher on the edge, so we think obviously he's a good addition to our program. The next kid is Peyton Williams. Peyton Williams is a fantastic receiver out of South Lake Carroll. He blew his knee out, though, in the state semifinals game. His team went on and won the championship. It's a very storied program down there in Texas, in one of the biggest classifications. And so to get someone like him, we think he'll be fine by the time camp starts in August. He's rehabbing very vigorously, getting after it, and so we think he'll make it. The next kid, John Walker, part of the D.C. 3. John is a corner. We think he can help us at the nickel position earlier. Very physical player, can run. Again, it probably can help us on teams also. And we're excited to have him. Josh Tupou, he's a full-grown man. He is 6'3", 302 pounds, and very lean-looking kid. He will help us inside immediately. A defensive lineman, one of the, I believe, 8 that we signed. He brings something to the table immediately, so we're looking forward to seeing him get in here this summer and get with our guys. Jeffrey Thomas, we signed 2 receivers out of Texas. With the name Thomas, Jeffrey and Gerald. Bobby Kennedy struggles with names, so he did that to help himself out. So Jeff Thomas, Jeff is 6'3". He has a good knack of going down the field, getting the ball. He has good jumping ability, catches it at its high point, wins a lot of the 50-50 balls. Gerald Thomas, Gerald's the smaller of the two. Gerald will help us, I think, immediately in the special teams, in the return game. He is electric with the ball, and he can get behind you. I think one game he had over 200 yards receiving, and again, coming out of a very good program. Johnny Stewart from Westlake, 1 of 2 teammates. Teammates with Justin Solis. Johnny's a defensive end, very good athlete, plays plays basketball also. Does a real good job of holding the edge. They lost the state championship game, I believe, De La Salle, but he's a guy that, again, due to the nature of our positions, our depth at defensive end has an opportunity early. Justin Solis, inside player. I believe he was Defensive Player of the Year for his section. He is very active for a guy his size. I think we list him at 280-something. When I went and saw him in December, he was probably 300. Commanded a lot of double teams, sometimes triple teams. He's very active, very instinctive, and a guy that we're really looking forward to. Austin Ray, tight end from Columbia, Missouri. Austin's a big kid. He's, I would say, legitimately 6'5" and a half. Another guy that plays basketball. You like that out of your tight ends, to have that, to have that ability. He's a guy that can get down the field. He's a good blocker. We'll make him better. Corey Rasmussen from Hawaii. So we only got one guy from Hawaii this year. And Corey, great kid, great personality. He's an inside player for us. He reminds me a little bit of Curtis Cunningham in his stature. but he just finds a way to make plays. He does a good job of using his hands. Christian Powell. Two guys that are really sleeping good tonight are Eric Vandermeer and Canavis McGee, because they wanted fullbacks and defensive linemen. So we have two fullbacks in this class. Christian was a kid we thought was going to commit to us early in the process. Texas A&M, Nebraska, Washington. He had a lot of schools on him, and then right before he was going to commit to us, we went in the house. He tells us he's going to visit UCLA, and we thought, uh-oh, because we felt like he may want to stay close to home, and he committed to them, and then called us this weekend to decide to let us know that he'd rather be a Buff. So we're happy to have him. Davian Payne. Davian's a running back out of California, Citrus. He's a bigger back. He's not a big back in the sense of like we had Chris Brown, but he's a bigger back from a weight standpoint. He's a very physical runner. He does have the ability to take it to the house when he gets to that second level. Clay Norgard, happy to have him. Played with his father, Eric. Clay's an in-state kid, one of the three that we got. He's going to play fullback for us. He enrolled early. He's here already. In fact, he's next door in the study table area, so Mom and Dad will be happy to hear that. Marquise Mosley. Marquise is another one of the Upland. We signed 3 kids from Upland. Marquise, Christian Powell, and Dante Abron. Marquise will play corner for us. He went both ways there. He has very good speed. He has great length. I think that, when you look at Coach Brown, the success he's had with defensive backs, they've had guys with great length. And him, Yuri, and Jeff, and Kenneth Crawley all have good length. So Marquise will be coming in. Derek McCartney. Derek will be coming in with us. He's a defensive end. Obviously, Coach McCartney's grandson. Great kid. We think that as he continues to grow, he has an unbelievable frame. He does 3 sports. He's a state champion in all those sports. Highly decorated athlete, and so we're excited to have Derek part of our program and anxious to see how he continues to grow. Our coaches were shocked at how much bigger he had gotten from when he was in our summer camp to when he came up in January. Jared Cole, offensive lineman from Pomona, California. He's a guy that the thing that jumped out to us immediately when we were watching him was he's nasty. He finishes you to the ground. He gets after you. There's a certain toughness about him. So we're excited. We think that that kind of mindset, that kind of mentality with the offensive line is exactly what we need. Alex Kelly. Alex, actually, his father, Alex is a legacy also. His father played here with Brian Cabral, and he's a kid that broke his foot last summer. So he came in as a gray shirt. He's been very impressive in the weight room and running. He's a kid that we'll look at guard, and with his athleticism and his strength, he's 320 right now. And when you watch him run, you watch him do some other things, jumping and doing all that, you wouldn't believe it. Samson Kofovola, I tried it. Sorry, Samson. Defensive end out of California, out of Arlington. Samson plays with an unbelievable motor, and he has pretty good technique right now. So that's a great combination. Both him and Josh Tupou were guys that a lot of schools in our conference were really hammering to try to get them to flip to them, and they stayed strong to us. Kisma Jagny. Kisma might have the most upside out of all these defensive linemen. He has unbelievable length. He's all of 6'5", and he's probably got a wingspan of a 7-footer. He's does a good job of getting on the edge. He has great speed closing on the quarterback. So Kisma's a guy, and he's an unbelievable basketball player. He really is a very good basketball player. Some twins, Sean and Jeremy Irwin from Houston, Texas. Sean is a tight end. Right now his role is going to be more of a blocking role. He can catch the ball and does some good things with it, but he's a mauler at the line of scrimmage. His brother Jeremy is an offensive lineman that we think, again, has an opportunity to get in the mix early. Vincent Hobbs, another tight end, H-back type. The guy has really started to come on late. he's another very good basketball player. He's got good range. He's 6'5". He's 240 right now, and he'll easily be a 260, 265-pound guy when it's all said and done. And with his athleticism, that'll be scary. Tyler Hennington, Denver Mullen, another in-state kid, Defensive Player of the Year for the state of Colorado. Tyler, another guy that a lot of schools made runs at, stayed strong. Great kid. I'm excited to get him up here. Jeffrey Hall, corner out of Louisiana, very good baseball player, plays center field, has really good instincts. He was quarterback, receiver, moved to defensive back this year, and he had 9 picks. Shane Dillon. Oh, Shane, quarterback in the class, committed to us early. Very excited. He's 6'5", about 200 now. He'll be big once he stops playing basketball. Another, as you can tell, we have some good basketball players in this class. He's been great. He's come up a couple times unofficially to help us recruit and get teammates. Crowder, a running back that we got committed early, and then he got hurt about the third play of his senior year, blew out his knee, which was unfortunate. He's a physical runner. He's a smaller guy, but he's probably 215, I would say. Kenneth Crawley, the last of the DC3. Great personality. He'll make Coach Brown's meeting room a little bit more livelier. He's a great kid. We're excited to have him. Another guy that stayed true. He originally was committed to Tennessee. Then when he committed to us, Georgia, Auburn, you name it, Michigan State, they all came in and tried to get him, and he stayed true to the Buffs, and he's anxious. Actually just got off the phone with him, and he's anxious to get out here. And then the last guy is Dante Abron, and it was scary when we watched his tape. Eric and I were laughing because he reminded it, his tape looked a lot like Maurice Jones-Drew's did when Maurice was being recruited. And like Maurice, wasn't heavily recruited early on in the process, and then later in his senior year, around December, more schools tried to come in. But again, I thought Eric did a great job in Canavas with both all those Upland kids, developing a relationship so that we could get them. So that's our class, and like I said, it's a great day. We are definitely better, and we're looking forward to spring ball.